Here is a clear, fully biblical explanation of the church in Matthew 16:18. And I tell you that you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not overcome it. Matthew 16:18. What does church mean here? Church, cha, ecclesia, Greek. Jesus uses the word ecclesia, which means assembly, called out ones. God's people gathered. It does not mean a building. It means the community of believers who belong to God. Jesus says, my church. The church belongs to Jesus, not to Peter or any human leader. Jesus is the owner, foundation, and head of the church. This aligns with other verses. Colossians 1:18. He is the head of the body, the church. Ephesians 1:22-23. God made Christ the head over all things for the church. 3. The church Jesus will build. The church that Jesus is announcing is a spiritual body made of believers, not a nation like Israel, not a physical temple, but a spiritual community. Ephesians 2:19-22. Christians are being built into a spiritual house. 1 Peter 2:5. Believers are living stones being built into a spiritual house. B. Founded on the revelation of Christ. The rock is the truth Peter confessed. You are the Christ, the Son of the living God. Matt 16:16. Scripture supports this. Corinthians 3:11. No one can lay any foundation other than Jesus Christ. Peter 2:6. Christ is the cornerstone. Ephesians 2:20. Christ is the cornerstone. Apostles and prophets are the foundation. So the church is built on Christ himself. The cornerstone, the apostolic teaching about Christ, foundation. Believers who confess Christ as Lord, living stones. The gates of Hades will not overcome it. In Matthew 16:18. Church. The community of believers who confess Jesus as the Messiah and belong to him. Jesus is declaring he will build a spiritual people. This people will be founded on the truth of who he is. Remember, there was no single Gentile was there in Matthew 16:18. They were all Jews that time. How come you say you were the one Jesus built? That is insanity. No, Jesus Christ did not talk to any Gentile directly in Matthew 16:18. Instead, this verse records Jesus' conversation with his disciples, specifically after Peter's confession of faith, where Jesus says, And I say also unto thee, that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. In this passage, Jesus is responding to Peter's declaration that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of the living God, Matthew 16:16. Jesus' statement about building his church is seen as a pivotal moment in the Gospel of Matthew. However, it's worth noting that in the broader context of Matthew 16 and surrounding passages, Jesus does interact with Gentiles, such as the Canaanite woman in Matthew 15:21-28. But this specific verse, Matthew 16:18, focuses on Jesus' conversation with his disciple.